Welcome to Root Talk on Friday, April 19th. We have a jam-packed episode going over both the NBA and the MLB. We have a bunch of great games, a bunch of great props. So let's go ahead and jump into the show. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a game breakdown for a couple NBA games and for an MLB game today. We're going to be going over our home run heroes as always in the MLB, which is our top 4 players to hit a home run today in the slate today. And then we're going to go over a new segment called the Hardwood Heroes, which is my top 4 player props in the NBA today for Friday, April 19th for those play-in games. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. What we're going to do is we're going to start out with our first game breakdown, which is the Chicago Bulls versus the Miami Heat. This is a win or go home game for both teams, obviously. And the winner of this will go ahead and take on the 1 seed in the Boston Celtics. What we're going to be doing for this, all of our data is going to be used from RootBets.com's data models and simulators. If you use code FIRE, F-I-R-E, you can get 20% off your first month to access these simulators for both NBA and MLB, as well as premium access to our Discord. You can see right underneath my video right now, the promo code is on the screen. So we're going to jump into this first game, which is the Chicago Bulls versus the Miami Heat. Right off the bat, you can notice we have the Miami Heat winning 103-102. So we are projecting this game to be extremely tight, and so is Vegas, as Miami is a 1.5 point favorite with a total of 205.5 as the over/under, and we have our total at 205. So it's safe to say that I believe the simulation in this instance is pretty accurate with what Vegas is projecting. Notable injuries. Obviously, Jimmy Butler is out for the Heat, so that does leave some questions as to who on the Heat is going to take over that volume and that scoring and that clutchness. My sights would be set on Tyler Hero, but I'm certain that the Bulls probably also have their sights set on Tyler Hero. The one benefactor for Tyler Hero in this matchup is the fact that Alex Caruso, who usually is really good at locking up the opponent, he's playing with a pretty significant foot injury. His lateral mobility is probably going to be not up to 100%. If I had to guess based on what they were saying after the end of last game, he's probably going to be out there playing at 80% at best, which I think gives Tyler Hero a pretty good advantage to have a pretty decent game today. His lines are really high, so I wouldn't really be touching Tyler Hero's lines today. But in terms of what we like for the game itself, I do like Tyler Hero to have a pretty significant impact alongside the likes of DeLon Wright, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Haywood Highsmith, Bam Adebayo, and even Duncan Robinson coming back today to give some boost off the bench. So I do like the Heat in this one to take this game on the money line at -125. It's going to be a sweat. This is going to be a close game that goes down to the wire, and you're going to have players playing absolute full minutes and giving their all. So this one is pretty risky, but I do like the Heat to win today's game. Our second breakdown today, as you probably expected, the only other game in the NBA today, which is the Kings versus the Pelicans. So for me, this one's a little bit interesting per the simulation. Vegas has the Pelicans as a +1 underdog, Kings -1 favorite, total of 210. I have this projected with a total of 219, a spread of 3 in favor of the Pelicans, actually. But for me, I don't think I would want to fade Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox tonight, playing around 42 minutes each as projected on the screen. I do think that the Pelicans without Zion are going to struggle. This is an interesting situation because they had Zion last game, and now he's gone. So there's a completely new game plan that is being written over the last 24 to 48 hours for the Pelicans in this one. It's probably going to heavily involve CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and then you're going to have guys who are playing significant roles in this game like Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, who usually don't have that significant volume. So I'm not quite sure, even though the simulation does have the Pelicans winning this game. Personally, I don't know if I trust Herb Jones and Trey Murphy to step up in those roles. I do like some of the player props, though, as we'll see later on some of these Pelicans players in their increased roles. And one guy that I am not going to be mentioning later in this video, but he should have an increased role, is Jonas Valanciunas. Valanciunas is probably going to play close to 30 minutes tonight, which is way above his normal minute log. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do against Sabonis. He's done well historically against the Kings, but he is a bit slow and on the older side, so I'm not sure if his stamina will hold up. But ultimately, in this game, I personally will be fading the simulation, but we do have the Pelicans winning by 3, so this could be an interesting one to watch if you do want to take an underdog in this spot. And now we are going to jump in to our MLB game breakdown before we start to get into the player props here. For our game breakdown in the MLB, I'm choosing the Orioles versus the Royals. Once again, if you get access to rootbets.com, you can look up any game you want. The one that I'm going to be showing in this video is, like I said, the Orioles versus the Royals. And I really like this game today because I think both teams are extremely exciting young teams that have been dominating so far this season. We have a 50-50 Nerfy chance here, as you can see, but we're projecting the Orioles to win 5-4, around 6-4, somewhere in that range at minus 136. The current line is minus 134, so it's pretty spot on with what Vegas has. We're looking at about 10 total runs, and I do like the Orioles to win this game. Dean Kramer has been okay so far this year. The one thing he's done well is limit the home runs allowed, which I think is going to bode well for him against a team like the Royals, who do have some pretty good home run hitters in Melendez and Bobby Witt, Salvador Perez, Nelson Velasquez. So I do like the Orioles, if they can limit those home run balls, to win this game. And one thing that really is going to help them out in this situation is the home run ballpark factor of 0.47, meaning there is less than 50% than league average home runs going to be hit today at Kauffman Field based on the weather conditions. The ball is not going to be traveling very far in the air when hit. So that does give, once again, the Orioles an advantage because I do think they have better hitters for small ball than the Royals do. Looking at those players, we have Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Ryan O'Hearn, Anthony Santander, all projected over 1 hit, all projected over 2 HRR. Take your pick in that list. I do like O'Hearn against right-handed pitchers. He absolutely has been mashing against them recently. And I also like Gunnar Henderson in this spot. He's been on fire, hitting a home run in 3 of his last 3 games. So I think those guys are both players to take for hits or HRR. And looking at the Royals, we do like Maikel Garcia and Bobby Witt to get a hit today. You could go Salvador Perez, but he's just projected over 1 at 1.01, but I mainly would probably be fading most of the Royals in this situation, especially Bobby Witt, because his lines are going to be heavily inflated based on his production this year, and his projections just don't match what we see in that situation. So that is our game breakdown for the MLB today with the Orioles versus the Royals. Moving on to our next segment here, it is my favorite segment, as I always say. It is our home run heroes. These are the top 4 home run hitters for the day that I like, and we're starting off with the Yankees in Giancarlo Stanton. This game, you could really pick Stanton, you could pick Judge, you could pick Soto. They all have great home run likelihood today and great home run probabilities. I'm personally going with Stanton because I just think that he has the ability to just, if he gets one pitch down the middle, it's all he needs, and he's going to take it yard. But I do like Soto and Judge as well today. But Stanton has a 60% chance to go deep today per my simulations, so that's why I am choosing Giancarlo Stanton. Up next, we have Manny Machado. Manny Machado has a 52% chance to hit one out today. I like him in this spot. He hasn't hit one in a few days, in a few games. I think he's absolutely due. You could go Tatis in this spot as well, but I personally am sticking with Manny Machado for the Padres to hit one out. Our third candidate is a little bit of an unlikely one, but someone who has a great probability today, and that is Taylor Ward. 48% chance. I do like Taylor Ward. I also like Brandon Drury if you're looking at the Angels, and Mike Trout would be third in line on the Angels to hit one out today. I just think Taylor Ward has the best probability per my simulations, and I do think the Angels will be hitting one out today, so I'm going with Taylor Ward. And our fourth and final, we have Marcell Ozuna. The guy has been absolutely mashing the ball. He's been on this list, I think, 3 times, and he's hit twice. So we're going to go for another one here with Marcell Ozuna at a 41% chance to hit one out. This guy, like I said, he's probably, if he's going to hit one out, it's probably going to be in the 6th inning or later because he seems to always do his damage late in these games. He'll go 0 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats and then hit one out in the 6th or even the 8th inning. So it's probably going to be a sweat, but he's been doing it all year long, and I think he continues that today. If you want to take all 4 of these together in a single slip, you're looking at about a 300x on DraftKings. Absolutely great value, but I recommend pairing them up in 2s or even a 3-man if you really want to go that route. Like I said, my top 3 would be Giancarlo, Manny Machado, and Taylor Ward, but you could swap in Marcell for Taylor Ward if you want someone with a little bit more consistency in the home run ball. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be transitioning over once more to the basketball side for our player props. And these are our Hardwood Heroes. This is a brand new segment. These are our top 4 player props on the slate for the play-in games tonight. And I think this is probably what most people are excited about. So we're going to start off with our first Hardwood Hero, Ayo Dosunmu, over 14.5 points. I absolutely love him in this spot. I think DeMar DeRozan is going to be getting a ton of attention, and as we know, the Heat are extremely good defensively against the centers in Nikola Vucevic, with Bam Adebayo defending in the paint. So I do like Ayo Dosunmu to be that third man up who's going to be taking up a good amount of volume tonight. We have him projected for 18 points per the RootBet simulation model. And if we go ahead and we pull up Ayo's profile real quick, and I'll bring him onto the screen, you're going to notice, like I said, we have him at 18 points in his last 5. In his last 10, he's averaging about 16 and 18 points respectively. He is questionable, but he should be fine. And I do have him with a slight volume boost in the shooting category. So we do like Ayo Dosunmu over 14.5 points today as our first hardwood hero. Number 2, we have Bam Adebayo over 4.5 assists. This is going to be an interesting one. I do think Bam is going to be getting a lot of attention on the offensive end for scoring, with Jimmy Butler being out. And with Tyler Hero kind of picking up that boost, I do think Bam's going to get fed the ball a lot in the middle, and he should kick it out. We have him projected for 5 assists today, and he's cleared this line 3 out of his last 5 games versus the Chicago Bulls, as you see right here on the right side in this graph. He had 6, 5, and 6 in 3 of his last 5 games. So we do like Bam to go over 4.5 assists. Our third hardwood hero, and excuse the dog in the background, our third hardwood hero is Brandon Ingram over 5.5 assists. This one is a bit of a community pick. I do see a lot of people on this one, and it is, I think, the most taken slip at BetMGM in this game. But we do like him over 5.5 assists. We have him projected for 6.37 assists. You'll see here he's also cleared this line 3 of the last 5 versus the Sacramento Kings. And with Zion out, I do think that he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's going to get pressured a lot by that defense of the Sacramento Kings, and he'll probably be dishing the ball to guys like Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, even Valanciunas, and McCollum to score the ball. So I do like him over 5.5 assists as a facilitator today. And our fourth and final hardwood hero is Domantas Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds. I know a lot of people on the internet are on the other side of this one in RA and in PRA, but I do like Sabonis today on the glass. And here's why. So if we look at the RootBet simulation one more time, what you're going to notice, we have him projected for 15.73. I think he gets there. I think he gets to 15 rebounds today. I do think that the Pelicans are going to be shooting a lot from deep today to try and score and keep up with the Kings offense. I think Valanciunas, like I said earlier, is a bit too slow for a guy like Sabonis. I think he'll be able to outwork him on the glass today with both stamina and agility, and I think he'll be able to get to 15 rebounds. I think 13.5 is a really fair line. I would like to get this one at 12.5 if you can. If you can alt this one down, I think 12.5 is a great line for him to go over on rebounds. But I do like Sabonis today on the glass to clear up all of those missed shots from the Pelicans from deep, because I do think the Pelicans are going to be shooting a lot of threes today. So those are our 4 hardwood heroes. And I really hope you enjoyed that segment, because I'm going to be locking in that slip. I'm going to take all 4 on a 4-man on Chalkboard. If you want to join Chalkboard, there's a 100% deposit match below my head using code RUDE, as you see on the screen. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to lock that one in. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm really excited about today's games in both the MLB and the NBA. There's so much more data you can jump into in the RootBet simulations if you want to learn more about some of the games that are on today, specifically in MLB, because we didn't touch too much of it. I think there's a lot of great lines, and I think that we have a lot of great projections. So come join rootbets.com, get access to the Discord server as well. Come join the community, and I will see you all there. Thank you for watching.